Guys, I was just starting to do the SATA connectors and we've hit an interesting development. This 320 gig SATA hard drive has actually had its SATA connection ripped off. I just was just plugging in the plug and it just ripped. So, you know, never seen that before. All the pins are loose, obviously, and never in a million years going to get a connector on that. So that's very interesting. Looks like we're going to have to ditch this drive. Doesn't really matter, you know, it's just an old Western Digital 320 gig. But, you know, kind of a handy drive to have lying around. It's kind of saddening to see it go. But, you know, it was second-hand when my parents used it. Was never the quickest, obviously. And it's old and it would probably die soon anyway, so... I'm not going to say I did it a favour because I really didn't. That was a kind of like a not cool thing to happen. But at the same time, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Just means we've hit a slight hiccup in the whole drive scenario. But I will look for another drive in a minute. But let me give you guys a quick update on what's going on. So if we look down at the power supply, we do indeed have the CPU, the 24 pin and the SATA power connected. The SATA power is connected to the SSD and was connected to that other drive which was there. As you can see, the SSD is connected via a nice green SATA cable to the motherboard. And, you know, all the rest is pretty much the same. You guys may have noticed that I've turned the power supply over. That's because the 4-pin for the CPU would not reach if I didn't do that. So, you know, it looks a bit worse, but at least it'll have its own contained fan. All the connectors are a little bit neater, and it just tends to be working a little bit better. As for the back... You know, it's starting to turn into a rat's nest, so obviously I'm forgetting about the back until I'm done with the front. So... I'm going to look for another drive. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting there on the hardware side of things. I think we're on to a bit of a win here. And, oh wow, you don't need a screwdriver. That is cool. Now, I have been at this for a little while now. We'll have a quick time check. It is indeed 1835, 1836 now. And... while I've been off camera, you know, I've just been struggling with various things. There's been quite a lot of difficult parts, but I knew it wouldn't be extremely straightforward. You know, that's completely obvious because it was a bunch of mishmashed, you know, whatever parts from all sorts of different generations. But as you can tell, we are now putting in the video card, which is cool, and it makes the whole system finally look like a gaming rig, which has got to mean something. This is the legendary 4870. I'm going to enjoy using this card. It'll be good fun. And actually, I can probably hide that horrible Molex to 6-pin PCI cable, judging by the fact that the connections are very close to the cable management hole. So I'll have to see about that when I pick up the system. But there we have the card installed. The graphics card is in, and of course it's looking really nice. All we need now is a nicer looking CPU cooler, and considering they're all junky parts I had hanging around, this system isn't looking that bad. Sorry about the wind noise, everyone. I'm starting to get a bit of a headache. It's getting warm in here. I've been in here for a few hours now. It is nearly 7:10. So I thought I'd show you what I'm doing with the front fan stuff. I thought I'd show you the whole process actually, why not? So here we have the original fan, and here we have one of the 8 Loon LED fans all screwed in, ready to go. Now as you guys can see, there's lots of trailing cable here. Now if you read online, it says that you need to, you know, to use these things with the case, these nice proprietary little fan connectors, these hot plug and play fan things, with the filters and whatnot, you need to cut the cables of your fans, which is of course, you know, not a very difficult job, but it is an annoying job. So I wondered if it would work without and just bunching up the cables around the edge, and yet it works absolutely fine. I can't see any flaws in doing that method whatsoever. So it's kind of interesting how these work. So you take these straight off the front of the case and you can instantly pull out the dust filter, and you can run that under a tap and do whatever you want. It's absolutely great. That just slams back in, out, shake it all about, easy. So that's the dust filter portion of the fan. Now, the entire enclosure is actually held on slightly differently. So you take out these 4 screws. Now, like I said, these NZXT fans are absolutely fine, but I just want the LED fans in the front. I think it would have been a really good idea for NZXT to include some of their LED fans in the front. So yeah, as you can see, the fan cable on these fans are really short. You know, they're specifically designed for the front of this case. And for a cheap case, this case does indeed have a lot of... Let's try and get that screw out of there. A lot of cool little features that seem to me as if they'd add cost anyway. So, you know, that's pretty cool. So you've got these 4 screws. Then what happens is the fan assembly lifts off of the sort of hot plug thingy. So we'll move that to one side. Now, screwed onto the fan, we have the dust filter and its assembly. So to take the fan off, you have to slide out the dust filter or shoot it out, and then the dust filter frame is held in by 2 screws. So, you know, it's fairly easy. Now, of course, what we're going to do is take out these 2 fan screws. Let's see what we're doing here. Let's try and get a bit of something going. Like I said, guys, I'm feeling a little bit ill now. Don't know if it's the heat or what, but anyway. Taking that fan away. Here we have one of my blue LED fans. Wouldn't be surprised if these fans are in fact worse. Now, of course, the tricky thing about this is actually, because it's quite a complicated mechanism, it's actually remembering. I had to unscrew my first fan a couple of times because it's all about remembering which orientation you're actually going in. So that's fairly important to remember. But as long as you remember that you're screwing in the filter side outside, it's really easy to remember. Now, these Yate Loon fans, like a lot of fans, are thread the fan while you screw, so it's not the most comfortable screwing job. As weird as that sounded, yes, I will leave it in. So, want to make sure these are nice and secure. Don't want them rattling around. Interesting how there's only 2 screws, but I guess only 2 screws are needed. So, let's pop the filter back in, like so, and we'll flip it over. And we get back this guy, line them up, and we're on the home stretch. Screwing the fan and dust filter assembly back onto the main hot swap assembly. As you guys can tell, I'm just making up words for the parts of this fan doobry. But this will look a lot better, I think. Just a bit of blue shining through the front. If you've got mesh in the front and you've got a gaming PC, you've got to have some LED action coming out of it. I mean, you know, you got to have some fun. Come on. Here we go. Unless you're going for one of those, you know, stealth builds, which I also do really like. But all the spare parts I had lying around were all, you know, fun LED stuff and whatnot. That actually went on quite weirdly. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so now that that's all screwed back on and secure, the only thing left to do is to plug in the 3-pin fan connector, of course. If I can get it right. There we go, 3-pin in, and we just have this little bit of excess cable that can easily be bunched up. So I'm going to put these in the front of the case and we'll see what they look like. So there they are in the front, looking really good. As you can see, that just brings out the general really nice look to the front of the case. Well worth doing. We've got one of the top fans plugged in. I need to find an adapter for the second. And of course, you know, power LED, power supply, meter thingy, and the back LED fan. I need to find some Molex to 3-pin fan connectors. I swear I've got some somewhere. Oh, my camera's about to run out of battery, but yeah, first glamour shot testing the fans. Right then, everybody, it is indeed nearly 8 o'clock. I have just eaten a lovely homemade fish and chips, and I am indeed feeling fully revived. And I've got no headache, I'm feeling really good, and I'm going to get this done, I'm going to get Windows installed, I'm going to get the whole hit done tonight, and hopefully, you know, by sort of midnight, well, I haven't got work in the morning, so I can have a lie in, so I might have a little bit of fun tonight playing some games on this bad boy. I've added a fan down the bottom, as you can see, not screwed in yet. I'm looking for some fan screws, but I've got a bit of a fan situation at the moment. I need to get power to oh, I can't remember now. Oh yeah, just this fan. I need a 3-pin fan connection to 4-pin Molex connector because the motherboard hasn't got many fan outputs on it. And they did come with these fans, but I've used them in something since, and I really can't remember what I've used them in. Now, I thought it was my MDD. I haven't checked, but I believe I actually bought proper, really nice converters for that, sleeved ones. I know I did. But I remember going into these boxes, these fan boxes right here, and retrieving them for something quite a long time ago. So I don't know what I was playing at. But I think I've got an idea of where they may be in another PC upstairs. I'll take the side panel off and have a look. And then I am pretty much ready to start tackling the cable management at the back, which isn't actually looking too bad. It should be a fairly easy job. You know, I've got the other 4 pins of the 8-pin connector hanging out there. Here's the rear fan plugged into the motherboard. Here is the dangling fan connector for the one I need an adapter for. The front panel fans are all plugged in and connected, as you guys saw. Optical drives all connected. I mean, everything's connected, which is really cool. And, you know, the system boots up. I think I need to sort out the hard drive LED. I think I've got those connections around the wrong way. But, yeah. It's pretty interesting. I can plug a system fan in there from the power supply, direct to work with the fan controller. But like I said, I haven't got a 4-pin to 3-pin adapter handy. Now, the reason why I've added that fan there isn't for cooling, and it's sort of a little bit for looks, because a white fan will look really cool down the bottom. It'll look better than just nothing through the window, and it sort of like forces the cables backwards. As you guys can see, considering this is a build that's just been thrown together, the cabling is really damn good. Now, this isn't a build that's all, you know, lovely sleeved cables and whatnot, and considering it's just like, you know, I'm just repeating myself, considering it's, you know, just thrown together, it looks really good. But anyway, let's just turn it on for a second. Let's plug the power in, and you guys can see where we're at with the fans and stuff. So, not sure if the reset switch is working, but the power LED is working. The hard drive activity LED isn't working. And yeah, so this fan is working. I believe that's plugged into the motherboard somewhere, probably. Yes, it is. It's actually dangling down next to the CPU connector right there. I don't know if you can see that. Rear fan is plugged in under the graphics card. Of course, the power supply fan is all lit up back there, not doing much of an effect. This one isn't plugged in yet, but it will be soon. And then we have the front one. The front two. Alright, so I see. There's a bit of tension there. Not to worry at all. And as you guys can see, by the watt meter, the system is using 134 watts booting up. So, yeah, quite a little bit of power, but, you know, I guess it's the, yeah, there you go. I think there's an install of Windows on this SSD because it's booting into something, but I can't tell because there's no PC speaker. I can't tell if the reset switch is working. But yeah, when we test it all out properly later, we'll be able to see. Now, as you guys can see, the 140mm LED fans aren't actually that bright. They don't really shine out the top that much, but to be perfectly honest, it's looking really good for what it is anyway, and I can't wait to get it all rigged up and tested. Could do with some accent lighting inside. I do have some cold cathodes somewhere, so I may dig those out and try and give them a go. Hate those things. You know, I might just leave them. I'm not too sure. But it looks like it would be a lot easier in this case than it was with my Lexra S. So, list of things I got to do then, guys. I'm going to get this fan connected and screwed in. That's my first job because I know there's some fan screws over there. That'll be really easy. Then I am going to try and look for a fan adapter. If I can't find one, then I will indeed put a blob of solder. I'll chop off the 3-pin connectors, put a blob of solder on each cable, and I'll shove them into a random Molex connector and put some electrical tape around it because I want to get that fan spinning, and it's a ghetto build anyway, so I don't really mind doing that. Anyway, I'll give you guys an update because these are just tedious little bits that aren't that interesting now. I hit the jackpot, guys. After ages of hunting, not only did I find a Molex to dual 3-pin, but I found a 3-pin LED 120mm fan. So that can replace this one, the non-LED one, and I can power that and that top one off of the dual adapter, and boom, everything is wired up. Well, that LED fan is a bit crap. But yeah, look at it compared to that one. Bright, crap. Bright, crap. But check out my addition, guys. Something that I've had rattling around in my PC case for ages, in my PC case of random crap. It's like a PCI graphics card cooler for when your graphics card gets really hot, and it's blowing directly onto the graphics card heatsink, which is cool. And well, it's technically meant to be exhausting it. It's a PCI exhaust fan, but whatever, it's just creating a nice bit of blue glow and a bit of airflow. I'm getting a bit carried away with this now, but I am enjoying myself. I really need to attend to the cable management back there. But yeah, this system is looking very good. Sorry about the slight music in the background, guys. I'm on shuffle, but I had to do some modifications to the front fans. Just a little bit of insulation tape on each corner and a bit of a twist there. And sorry, guys, sorry about that. Random pause. And when I put it on, we shouldn't be rubbing. Hang on a sec. Let me take the bottom one out because I haven't done the bottom one yet. Yeah, see, that's all over the place. That's not going to happen. But if we put this one on, that's been newly secured, shouldn't make any kind of noise. This is really hard with your left hand. Come on. There you go. Perfect. That cable isn't going to intrude anywhere. So, time to do the same to this one. Here she is, all plugged in. Moment of truth, let's go. 3, 2, 1, on. Little bit of fan rattle, something in the way. Let's take a look. Oh, yes. Awesome. Let's get into the BIOS and check out some stuff. Okay, let's go and look at the information. System information. There we go, just over 3 gigs of RAM. So, that RAM upgrade was successful for some donated RAM. So thank you very much to whoever donated all that RAM. Very cool. Just found it randomly in my stuff. Okay. Brilliant. Full screen logo display. Let's have a gander at how it is. Yes. What logo it is? Some old school MSI logo. Might be pretty cool. Ah, it's not bad. Anyway, let's get Windows on this thing. So here we have Windows 7 Ultimate 64-bit. This system will run Windows 7 absolutely fine without a doubt. Like I say, this is my parents' main system. It must have been their system for a good year or two. Let's hit the reset button, see if that works. Yes, it does indeed. So, we should boot from the CD in any second now. Sooner we get Windows on here, the sooner we can update, install all the drivers, and do some more updating, and then probably some more updating, and then play some games. Press any key to boot from CD or DVD, bang. As you can see, this system works. It's a working machine. Optical drivers recognised, thank God. We're looking at this display now from the perspective of the ATI Radeon 4870. Guys, I am losing the will to talk. It is now, let's do a time update, I haven't done that in a while. It is 14 minutes past 9, and let me close my door. I have been going since whatever time I've been going since, so it's been pretty hefty. I had that nice dinner break and that really helped me out. But yeah, my room was tidy earlier and now it's a complete tip again, but it was worth it to build this system. This should be a really cool system. Hoping to have lots of fun with this. Now, it's just loading the files. I never know what, I never know how long this bit's going to take, so I'll just cut and pause. So just to keep you guys updated, this stick of RAM wasn't detected because it's a slightly different type of RAM, of course. So I dug out 2 more 256 meg sticks to try. But I'm going to wait until Windows is installed to do that. I'm trying to boot once more. I'm now trying to boot from a 32-bit disk just to see if it'll boot, because it doesn't appear to want to boot from a 64-bit disk. Operating system. Don't think it's anything to do with the 64 versus 32. I think maybe my disk is damaged or something. And basically what I'm going to do is format the SSD if it boots into the installer, and then try and install Ultimate 64-bit again, because I really want to get the 64-bit OS on here if I can. Yeah, that would make my life a little bit easier, but I guess it makes no difference to me really. I just want to install and play some games. But it'll be very interesting to see if it loads. Now, there is a copy of Windows 7 already on the hard drive. Christian has a German copy of Windows 7 on there, of course, because he is German. And yeah, we're trying to boot from the disk, but it doesn't really like doing that for some reason. I don't know why. Don't know if it's the RAM. Don't know what it is. Ah, here we go. This is a lot further than I got before. Fantastic. Okay, so it may have been this dodgy stick of RAM. Well, it's not dodgy, it's just a slightly different type, it's not exactly going to work, is it? Just threw it in there. But I'm glad that other 1 gig stick works, because, difference between 2 gig and 3 gig is, just quite a difference on here. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's booting into the installer now, which is awesome. So I'm just going to go through this and then erase the SSD and then try the 64-bit disk one more time. Okay, so my Windows 7 Ultimate disk must be damaged. Actually, no. Sorry. I've just booted from the Windows 7 Ultimate disk. This is the Windows 7 Home Premium disk. Wow. Okay, so I was having some troubles, and what I did was erase the SSD, and that caused me more issues. So I just unplugged the SSD while booting, let the disk boot up, and plugged the SSD back in, and it seems to have worked. So we're going to completely format everything, and just make some nice fresh Windows install. 74.5 gig next. Yeah, whatever. What's it saying? Setup, we're unable to create a new system partition or locate an existing site. See the setup log files for more information. Alright, I'll have to make one. Size, apply. Normally makes one for you, doesn't it? Disk partition 1. Windows cannot be installed to disk partition 1. Show details. Windows cannot be installed to this disk. This computer hardware may not support booting to this disk. Ensure that the disk controller is enabled in the computer BIOS menu. Okay. Damn it. Alright, let's figure this out. Well guys, it's getting late. Mum and Dad have gone to bed. I'm still going to be at this for a little while. But we have finally managed to get it to install. Even though it kind of looks like it's hanging there, but I think it'll be okay. So we are getting there. Slowly but surely we are getting there with this pretty cool gaming PC from Spare Parts. Pretty cool indeed. We're getting there, folks. Here we go. Resolution looks really nice. Well guys, you're joining me the next day. It is indeed nearly 10 to 2, just gone 1:45. I have pretty much just woken up. I stayed up really late last night. Didn't do much with the PC actually, was mainly just on Netflix and whatnot, but
I'm gonna go get some breakfast and stuff in a bit. But I've had this problem with this PC that has been raging me. Couldn't get the internal audio to work. So that really annoyed me. I tried for about 45 minutes to get it to work. I downloaded, the official driver, third-party drivers, even looked at the chip, downloaded the exact same driver, nothing. By the way, guys, I've woken up with a cold, which is really annoying. You can probably hear it in my voice. But anyway, then I tried this little doohickey, downloaded the drivers absolutely fine, and look at it. It's absolutely awful. It's a pile of junk. I don't even know why I bought it. I can't remember why I bought it. But then I threw in this random sound card that I had lying around last night. Couldn't get that to work, but this morning I got it to work. The only way I could get it to work was to actually look at the chip, type in the code on the chip, type in driver for Windows 7, and look for a driver that way. And as you can hear, we have audio from this computer, which is really cool. So, yeah, I'm gonna go and get some breakfast and see if I can try and clear a little bit of this cold. By the way, guys, as I'm fiddling with stuff here, just before I go for breakfast, I added another 1 gig stick of RAM that I found when I was hunting for some other things. So this system now has 4 gigs of mismatched RAM, but it looks, it's not a bad spec for a junk-picked PC, really. And I'm quite pleased with it. With the side panel on, it's not even that loud considering all the fans are running at full speed because I don't have a fan controller. You've got 2 120s in the front, 1 in the bottom, 1 in the back, 2 140s, that really crappy PCI cooler, which is actually kicking out quite a bit of heat out the back when the graphics card heats up, and the 120 in the power supply. But yeah, it's doing well. Well, guys, I think that's it for part 2, or whatever part we're on now. I've got a little bit left to do, so I'll keep you all updated, but it is indeed 4 minutes past 3, 5 minutes past 3 now. I've had my breakfast, and I've been playing a bit of Duke Nukem Forever. I was like, what am I going to test this system with? And I put my hand to my stack of games, and this was the one that came out first. Now, as much hate as this game got, I actually really enjoyed it back in 2011. It was one of the first games I played through on my first gaming build, my Phenom 2 system. Because I really liked Duke Nukem 3D, and I was excited for this game, and it didn't disappoint me. So what's really cool about this system is, as you can see here, if I just go down to video settings, it's playing at the full resolution, 1680 by 1050. That's the resolution of my monitor. So I don't have a 1080p monitor, but obviously 1680 by 1050 is a lot higher than 720p. Advanced options, and you can see everything's on pretty much ultra, and it's playing it absolutely fantastically. I've been playing it for the last hour. I'm in the Duke Burger section. So of course this has got a 4870 in it, which is not a bad card at all. And this game, it's not a bad card considering its age. This game is not very demanding at all. In fact, you could actually run this game on a much lower spec system according to the box. But, yeah, it's been pretty interesting to do this. It's not over yet. Expect a part 3 where we'll probably look a little bit more at things like benchmarking. We'll look at a lot more games. But yeah, I've now got 4 gigs of RAM in the system. An additional sound card. I need to put the side panel back on, and of course the reason why I'm not doing part 3 right now is because I've got to head off to work by about 6 o'clock, and before then I would really like to get this absolute tip that I've created completely sorted, because it was tidy yesterday, and after building the PC it's gone really messy. So I'm going to drag myself away from Duke Nukem. I've been enjoying playing through it, but anyway, let's pop that down. Thank you for watching part 2, guys. Part 3 will be on the way very soon.